In the Impact segment tonight, more trouble for Hillary Clinton. With her poll numbers sinking, her allies may be reaching new lows in their attacks. The latest from Clinton supporter David Brock, who circulated an email linking Bernie Sanders to Hugo Chavez, the brutal Venezuelan dictator who died 2 years ago. Political analysts say that attack is comparable to methods used by the infamous Senator Joe McCarthy.
Particularly ones like this, which, McCarthyite tactics, and where the campaign isn't willing to stand up and say, or the super PAC, this is what we're saying. I interviewed David Brock, who's associated with that group, the other day, and asked him repeatedly, what are you saying about Bernie Sanders? What's your point? And he wouldn't say.
Joining us now from Durham, New Hampshire, is Ed Henry, who's covering the Clinton campaign for Fox. So, Ed, Hillary, are they saying anything about the Bernie Sanders-Hugo Chavez comparison, or are they blaming that on Brock?
No, they're ducking it from the campaign. I think what's really going on and what you're hinting at is that this leadership pack on the outside with operatives like David Brock, they're trying to do the hard-hitting attacks on Bernie Sanders. And by the way, Joe Biden as well, the vice president who may get into this race. There are signs just in the last 24 hours, this overheard conversation on Amtrak on a cell phone, a draft Biden official saying he's 100% in. This is going to happen. And nobody's really denying that that was said. So there are signs Biden's going to get in. And you have Hillary Clinton's campaign itself saying, oh, we're giving him time to grieve. I'm sure it'll change the race if he gets in. We don't want to attack him. But people on the outside in private rooms are doing the attacking. I mean, John Podesta at a super PAC meeting for the Clinton team, not the campaign itself, but the outside donors was saying, if Biden gets in, he's not going to win. He's not really the new flavor. So they want to do the attacks behind closed doors and in public say, oh, Bernie's a nice guy. We don't have any quarrel with him, because they're trying to look like they're staying positive.
And so are they going to turn negative, though, the campaign itself, anytime soon? And if so, just Bernie Sanders or Biden as well?
They can't go much longer and allow this momentum, this surge from Bernie Sanders. Here on the ground in New Hampshire, I can tell you I've been seeing all kinds of things. I mean, I was at a town hall meeting with Hillary Clinton last night, and she had empty seats in the back of the room. This is the front runner. This is the former Secretary of State, Senator, First Lady. And meanwhile, today, here at the University of New Hampshire, Hillary Clinton was making a big deal. We got so much enthusiasm. We got an overflow crowd. We asked the fire chief, 350 people. It looked big and was sort of crowded because it was a small room here on campus. I checked with Bernie Sanders' campaign. He's coming to this very campus this weekend. Apples to apples comparison, he already has 1,300 RSVPs. 3, 4, 5 times as many people as Hillary Clinton is getting here on the ground in New Hampshire. And that's why the last 6 polls here, the last 6 major polls in New Hampshire, now have Bernie Sanders.
So, Ed, the Clintons have never had a problem firing people, letting people go. How long before heads start to roll in the Clinton campaign?
Well, it's very interesting. The tea leaves we're getting, this Washington Post piece a couple of days ago saying they realize they have a problem inside the Clinton camp, the Brooklyn headquarters, but it's status quo. They think their original plan is going to work in the long run. Look, this plan has not worked for the last 4 to 6 months, and so they're probably going to have to do something much more drastic in the days ahead, whether that's a house cleaning, whether that's the candidate herself, because people are going to blame the advisors. But let's face it,
she's relaunched the relaunch.
She was the candidate in 08 who couldn't get it done.
And then again, and how about the last one? Hey, this time we're going to inject heart and humor, telling her to inject heart and humor. I mean, that's ridiculous.
We have a plan to be spontaneous.
Yeah.
And that's basically what they said. And when you plan to be spontaneous, it doesn't necessarily come across as authentic. I mean, let me say something positive about Hillary Clinton, which is in that ABC News interview some days back with David Muir. She took some shots on the email deal, but when it was pressed about what she's fighting for, she got into the middle class. She started crying, talking about her mom. There are going to be people questioning authenticity and whatnot, but if you watch what she did, that was her trying to show her real self, showing some heart, showing some emotion. Frankly, on the campaign trail, we're not seeing a whole lot of that. She's got to find a way to sort of unpack some of the things that's keeping some separation here between her and actual voters. Bernie Sanders is breaking through on the left, Donald Trump breaking through on the right. Hillary Clinton maybe is the ultimate insider, and in a year of the outsider is
probably because she does. They have a well thought out plan to be spontaneous. When you talk about Trump and Bernie Sanders, they are spontaneous. Ed, very quickly, I got to go. Bill Clinton, yes or no, getting into this a little bit more heavily?
I think he's going to get. Today was, this week was the first week that we saw him out fundraising. I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of Bill Clinton.
All right, Ed, thank you very much. Straight ahead, Hillary Clinton couldn't name her top accomplishment at the State Department. Uh-oh, that's up ahead.